Welcome to I Got Some Shit to Say podcast. I'm your host, Tatiana, and today we have,
Julian.
and he's going to tell us a little about being in the military. So, what did you like about the military? How was it?
All right, so I joined when I was 18, right out of high school, and I joined the Marines. And so, I mean, I had a love-hate relationship with the Marine Corps. It was like fun sometimes,
Mhm.
and when it wasn't fun, it sucked a lot.
Did you experience any traumatic things that happened in the military?
I mean, like PTSD type
Yeah.
inducing stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's things that like happen that I would say maybe in the moment I didn't think would be traumatic, but like as I've gotten older and like a little bit more removed from it, I could see like the effects of it still. So,
But I
but I
think
would,
that's what post traumatic stress disorder is, right? It's like
yeah,
it hit you later.
yeah. But then there's like the PTSD that everybody thinks about, which is like, oh, like I've seen someone get blown up, and like that's what people go to when they think PTSD when they think of the military. But there's a lot of other little small things that like also cause PTSD, or I don't even want to associate it with PTSD. It's just like little habits that stick with you.
What inspired you to go to the military?
I don't know. I was kind of one of those kids that knew like at a really young age. Like I think in the military you get some people that just go because they don't have nothing else to do,
Hmm.
and then you get some people that just always wanted to do it, and that was me. I was one of those people that always wanted to go. I think I could say maybe when I was like 8, that's I had my mindset on it. I know, really young,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah.
your parents was like college or military? It was
Oh,
just
my
like,
parents were college. That was I was actually a big disappointment for joining the military.
oh, okay.
So which is ironic because my grandfather was in, my great grandfather, my dad. Like I had a family. A lot of people were in the military in my family, but it was
Well,
disappointing.
I'm glad that you followed your own path, like you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
What have you learned from being in the military?
Um, I guess I learned people about like more because you get forced around to be around people that you never would have been around.
Hmm.
So I guess learning like different like cultures and like perspectives other than like the people I grew up around or
Hmm.
like the people in my family, I think that helped. It's one of the biggest things
Okay. And what would you tell your younger self right now?
If I could go back and tell like my younger 18-year-old self,
Yes.
I would have said pick my job and stick with like pick the job that I wanted because that
Which
makes
was
your I wanted to be infantry, right? I wanted when you
in
join
the
the
military?
in the Marine Corps,
Okay.
specifically in the Marine Corps, yeah,
Okay.
at 18. That's what I wanted to do. And so I didn't get that. And that happens a lot, especially with the Marine Corps because it's so small. They only have so many infantry jobs for people.
Hmm.
So I didn't get that opportunity. And I think that would have been
And
uh,
what kind of position is that?
infantry. Well, that's the people that you think of when you think of the military, the people that like are doing the bulk of the fighting. And like,
Oh.
yeah. So that's, yeah.
Okay. And last question:
Hmm.
would you go back to the military if you could go back right now?
Uh, like in 2025 or
Yeah, in 2025, if they say, "Hey, we need a lot of people right now to come fight for us," and would you go back? I know you have a family, a
right.
wife, kids, a house, but would you go
Mhm.
back?
I mean, I think the situation would have to be like really dire, right? I wouldn't go back on the first like time they ask for people, but if they ask for people maybe like 4 or 5 times,
Okay. And
after
is
that
there a
fifth
reason?
time,
Is there a reason why you wouldn't go back? Like, is it because of your family and everything that you
yeah, like
have? Okay.
exactly. Like I'm a little bit older. I'm trying to advance in my career.
Okay. And then, do you mind telling the people what you do now, and did it have anything to do with your experience in the military?
Yeah, so I work for a autonomous vehicle company now, and I initially got the job from some of the things that I did in the military, like some of the technical background I have. So
Hmm.
it did help.
Do you think that people in the military, Army, Marines, they have priority when it comes to jobs?
No, I don't think they have priority. I think that it helps if you can help sell your military experience. I think
Okay.
it does give you. It just makes you slightly different.
Okay. And have you ever went to therapy for anything that you've been through in the military, or have you done therapy in your life?
No, I haven't.
Counseling,
I
nothing.
mean, the only counseling I've ever had was like I was a real like a young child, but that was like from my childhood stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't say from the military I have counseling.
Do you think that you need counseling, or like how did the military? What was the effect of the military? A good effect and a bad effect?
Like I would say like a good effect is that um, I had some like a vision for like where I wanted to go and who I wanted to be, and I think the military kind of helped give me some of the tools that would help me get there.
Hmm.
And so I took those tools and I use them and I implement them in my life.
Okay.
And then some of the bad effects I would say is that like anxiety, like I get a little anxious about things like punctuality, or I can get a little uptight. Where sometimes things might not be as serious to everyone else around me, but to me it's like it would be a bigger deal just because
Right.
of like how the association with like doing things a certain way was a life or death kind of situation when you were in the military.
Hmm.
So I guess in civilian life, everything is not always that deep.
Right. And then I know when you're in the military, like they take your phones away. Sometimes you can't be on your phone. You can't talk to people. You can't communicate as much. Do you think that you are one of those people who don't have to be on their phone that much because you was refrained from all of that in the military? Like, are you one of those people that just can do without?
Yeah, it's weird because I guess like the time I grew up, so social media was starting to come around
Right.
when I was like in high school and kind of
MySpace,
yeah,
Facebook,
and
yeah.
so I didn't really take to social media initially with MySpace anyway, so naturally. So I think it was just naturally who I was, and then the military did help because yeah, like you said, like there's periods where you don't have your phone
Hmm.
where I could go a week without talking to family members or loved ones or even having my phone or get checking social media. So um,
Do you talk to your family often? Like, is that a is not having social media and not having your phone, did that create a habit for you in your real life?
yeah, I would say so. I would say it made it a lot easier to not be so attached to my phone
Okay.
for sure.
And like, do you still communicate with your family weekly or every day?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what stage in your military career that you're in. Like when you initially join and you're going
Hmm.
through like the basic training or boot
Hmm.
camp, then you're not gonna have your phone as much because they're trying to turn you like transition you from a civilian to a military service member,
Hmm.
depending on whatever branch that is.
Hmm.
And the process is different in every branch, but one thing is for sure is like something has to change.
Right.
And so a lot of the influences from your phone, your family, and everything that kind of gets cut off, so you can focus on being, like a good airman or soldier or whatever it is that you're there. And then like after that, after you transition out of that phase, it gets better. When you go to your school, you learn your job. Like
Hmm.
when you're in your classrooms, you don't have your phone. When
That's
you get off at a certain time, like around
yeah.
5. Then you have your phone. Then when you get to like your unit where you're gonna work after you learn your job, you get to your unit. Then you have your phone. It's like a regular, like you show up
Yeah.
whatever time you're supposed to, and you know, and then you get off work like at whatever time you're supposed to. It depends on the job also. So like if you are like let's say infantry,
Hmm.
you're in the field. So a lot of times you might have your phone, you might not. It depends on your unit, how strict they are, but you're not gonna be on it like let's say someone that works in an office that's
Hmm.
doing the paperwork. They pretty much have their phones with them, like when they're at work, 9 to 5, 24/7. So a lot of it is dependent on what job you're doing.
And then what could you tell the YNs that are thinking about going to the military right now?
Mm, I
The
mean,
YNs and the YGs.
I guess it just depends because it depends on like what you want out of life. Like I don't think the military is for everybody.
Mhm.
I don't think everybody can go and like actually get something good out of it. I think it's all about the
That's true.
mindset. The military is it can get very negative and dark.
Mhm.
and you're gonna be around some people that can really challenge you and make your life hell. So
Mhm.
you have to have the right perspective to actually excel, and then you got to have the right, like you have to be strong enough to like survive it all at the same
How
time.
did you get through it? Because you said it was negative and it could get dark, or it could be negative and it could be dark. So how did you get through it?
Um, I guess like I like to do well. So I've always like I kind of grew up in an authoritative like kind of structure anyway,
So it
and
was
so
for you.
yeah, it kind of fit me a
Yeah.
lot better. I like structure.
Mhm.
I grew up kind of like it wasn't a lot of structure in my life, so
Mhm.
I wanted that structure. I wanted to be like in a place where I had to be held to standards, and
Mhm.
so that helped me. Everybody that doesn't always work for everyone.
Right.
So I guess like me or someone like me, it does work because you that's what you're looking for and that's what you need. That's like what you thrive off of.
Okay. And then, is there any relationships that you have taken from those experiences and you've been friends with somebody, or for a long time, y'all still friends, or?
Yeah, I would say pretty much all of my best friends in life have been in the military,
Okay.
which is ironic because I didn't even serve with all of them at the same time, but somehow or another they all ended up joining or going or whatever. I guess I surround myself with people that like
That
think
are,
like
I feel like this typical, like most of my friends are educators.
me. Mm,
Um, Not all, but most of them are
right.
educators, and so
Yeah.
I find out that like I feel like work is the best place to find your friends, your soulmate, all of that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Common experiences.
Yes,
Yeah, they
very,
build
very.
bonds.
All right. Well, thank you for interviewing with me today. And do you have any shit to say before you
No,
leave?
I'm okay.
All right.
All
That's
right.
it.